Welcome to Context Window, your weekly look at the bleeding edge of AI coding tools. Let's see what's new.
Kicking off this week, there's a significant development shaking up the world of AI coding benchmarks, specifically involving OpenAI's recent audit of the SWE-Bench Pro leaderboard. The headline, as it's being presented, is something being called the 80% Mirage.
Indeed. The 80% Mirage refers to a reported achievement by Claude Mythos 5, which supposedly scored over 80% on the SWE-Bench Pro benchmark. This figure was initially presented as a major leap forward, suggesting a model could independently solve a substantial majority of complex software engineering tasks.
And that's a huge number, right? For context, previous models have struggled significantly on benchmarks designed to test real-world coding ability beyond simple snippets. An 80% success rate on something as robust as SWE Pro would have been truly transformative.
Precisely. SWE Pro aims to evaluate a model's capacity for end-to-end software engineering, meaning it assesses not just code generation, but also problem understanding, debugging, and integrating solutions into larger code bases. An 80% success rate would imply a level of autonomous problem-solving approaching, if not surpassing, that of a junior engineer.
But OpenAI's audit has thrown a wrench into that narrative. What did they find that led to this Mirage description and the subsequent collapse of the benchmark's credibility?
The audit essentially uncovered significant methodological issues and potential data contamination that rendered the 80% claim unreliable. It appears the benchmark, as it was being used and reported on, did not accurately reflect the model's true capabilities, leading to inflated performance metrics.
So it's not that Claude Mythos 5 necessarily performed poorly, but rather that the test itself was flawed in a way that made it look like it performed exceptionally well.
That's the core of it. The audit points to a breakdown in the integrity of the evaluation process, which is critical for any benchmark intended to measure progress in a rigorous field like software engineering. The collapse isn't just about one model score, but about the trustworthiness of the benchmark itself.
This isn't the first time benchmarks have come under scrutiny in the AI space, particularly with large language models. But collapse is a strong word here. What are the specific mechanisms that might have led to this kind of methodological failure in SWE-Bench Pro?
While the specific details of the audit's findings are still being dissected, common issues in LLM benchmarks include data leakage, where training data inadvertently includes parts of the test data, allowing the model to memorize solutions rather than genuinely solve problems. Another is the oversimplification of complex tasks, or evaluation metrics that don't truly capture the nuances of a successful solution. For SWE Pro, which is designed to be highly complex, the challenge is amplified.
It's like trying to test a student on material they've already seen on the exam.
A fair analogy. The goal of a benchmark is to be a pristine, unseen challenge. If that challenge is compromised, the results become meaningless as a measure of true generalization or capability. The collapse suggests a deep structural issue, not just a minor adjustment. It implies the benchmark is no longer fit for its stated purpose as a reliable indicator of advanced software engineering prowess.
And for developers and researchers who rely on these benchmarks to gauge progress and inform their work, this is a significant setback. It essentially means they might have been optimizing for the wrong metrics or celebrating achievements that weren't truly there.
Absolutely. Benchmarks serve as critical guideposts in AI research. If those guideposts are misleading, the entire research direction can be skewed. It forces a reevaluation of what constitutes progress in this specific domain and highlights the constant struggle to create robust, ungameable evaluations for increasingly sophisticated models. The stakes are particularly high when these models are being touted for practical, real-world software development.
So if SWE-Bench Pro is effectively compromised, what does that mean for the broader effort to evaluate AI in coding? Does this mean the effort is back to square one, or are there lessons learned that can inform future benchmarks?
It's certainly a significant blow, but it's also a stark reminder of the challenges. The lesson here is that as models become more capable, the benchmarks themselves need to evolve to be even more sophisticated and resilient to potential exploitation, whether intentional or accidental. It necessitates a continuous adversarial process where evaluators are constantly scrutinizing and attempting to break benchmarks, just as developers are trying to improve models.
It sounds like a cat-and-mouse game, but with profound implications for the industry. How does an audit like OpenAI's, which effectively undermines a widely cited benchmark, impact the perception of transparency and rigor within the AI community?
It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a necessary act of due diligence. OpenAI stepping in to audit and call out a flawed benchmark, even if it means deflating impressive-sounding results, upholds scientific rigor. It prevents the community from chasing after a false sense of achievement. On the other hand, it highlights the fragility of some of these public claims and the need for greater scrutiny across the board. It reinforces the idea that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, especially in a field moving as quickly as AI.
And the initial reporting, where Claude Mathos 5's 80.3% score was celebrated by BenchLM.ai, suggests that perhaps some entities were quick to publicize these numbers without sufficient verification.
That's a critical point. The rapid dissemination of impressive benchmark results can create a powerful narrative, even if the underlying data isn't fully validated. It underscores the responsibility of platforms like BenchLM.ai, which host leaderboards, to ensure the integrity of the submissions and the evaluation methodologies. The Mirage wasn't just a model issue, it was an ecosystem issue, from the benchmark design to its public presentation.
So what does this collapse practically mean for the future of SWE-Bench Pro specifically? Is it just retired, or is there a path for it to be rebuilt or revalidated in a way that restores its credibility?
The term collapse often implies a significant loss of confidence and utility. For SWE Pro to regain credibility, it would likely require a substantial overhaul. This could involve redesigning the task set, implementing stricter evaluation protocols, or developing new methods to prevent data contamination. It's not a minor patch, it's a fundamental reassessment of its foundations. Until then, its utility as a reliable measure of software engineering AI capability is severely diminished.
It's a reminder that benchmarks aren't just technical tools. They're also social constructs that guide collective effort and shape perceptions of progress. When one fails so spectacularly, it forces a reckoning.
Exactly. And the reverberations go beyond just the research community. For companies looking to integrate AI coding assistance, these benchmarks are often cited as proof points for capabilities. If those proof points are flawed, it introduces significant risk and uncertainty for real-world applications. It impacts investment decisions, product roadmaps, and ultimately user trust.
So this 80% Mirage and the subsequent audit by OpenAI serves as a stark warning about the need for constant, rigorous validation in the rapidly evolving AI landscape, especially when claims of near-human or superhuman performance are made in complex domains like software engineering. It's not enough to just see a high number. The methodology behind it has to withstand intense scrutiny.
That's the takeaway. The pursuit of higher scores can sometimes overshadow the pursuit of robust, verifiable results. This incident emphasizes that transparency, reproducibility, and continuous auditing are not just academic ideals, but essential practices for building trustworthy AI.
That's all for this episode of Context Window. Join us next time for more on the AI tools shaping how we build software. If you're building with AI, subscribe. We cover what matters.
Ship smarter, not harder.